Hello everyone and welcome to Collection Reflection, and thank you for joining me today. On this reflection we will be taking a look at the Green Ranger Shredder from the Power Rangers Lightning Collection. Let's start off by taking a look at his packaging. Here we have the back, this awesome artwork where he's in this nice pose, showing off his effects that he comes with. And the colors on the packaging are a little bit different than the colors that you get in real life. The gold seems to be darker, and the green is, I guess, brighter. It's almost more vibrant. The colors on the box are a little bit more saturated than the ones that you would see in real life, but I think it's a pretty decent rendition of the figure. And take more of a look at that awesome artwork. There's the front and the other side. The top, the bottom. Now that we have the Green Ranger Shredder back in front of us, time to look closer at this figure. I have owned this figure for a couple of months, and I'm happy to say that he has held up pretty well. His joints are still smooth, but his ankles are a little bit loose. Beyond that, this has to be one of the best figures from the Lightning Collection, and possibly my favorite figure of my own collection. I've already made adjustments to this figure, so let's start our review there. As far as improvements go, this figure was pretty much amazing right out of the box. All I did was add a little bit of floral wire to his cape, just to make it a little bit more dramatic. Other than that, and now his loose ankles, there really is nothing that I can complain about this figure. It's amazing. And speaking of amazing, let's take a closer look at his sculpt and details. As we take a look here, the first thing that caught my eye was the gold that they used, this gold plastic that they chose. You can see all the little texturing detail that they put in his armor. There's little scratches and scrapes. But I think all that texturing really helps this gold stand out and shine. It makes it look more realistic, in my opinion. The cape is a nice texture. It feels nice and soft. It doesn't feel cheap. And even though he's got all these nice little spikes and razors all across his body and on his armor, they are pointed, but they're not sharp. You're not really going to hurt yourself on these. Even his main claws still aren't pointy enough to hurt you. And on his helmet, it's made out of a softer rubber, so none of those points should hurt either. But look at that awesome detail on that helmet. Let's see if we can get some light in those eyes. I really like how they painted the eyes red, and it kind of brings together the red eyes on the helmet and that red little diamond that he's got in the center. You can see his muscular detail. One of the better things about the Lightning Collection is that they try to make the characters look more realistic and more like what they appeared to be on the show, rather than these muscle-bound superheroes. But for Shredder, they came and they did sculpt a lot of the muscle detail for him, which makes sense. He is an older character compared to the others. He's a stronger character. He's supposed to look more intimidating and definitely like the type of guy who needs an entire team to take him down. He is one of the only Power Rangers that I know of that does not have sleeves. So if that bothers you, I'm sure you could probably go in there and try to paint it up. But for me, I think this adds to the ninja Shredder aspect of it all. It makes it look more like a powered up Shredder rather than just a Power Ranger. But it's just incredible. I mean, the sculpt goes all the way around. If we lift up the cape, you can see the sculpt for his sash. There's the power coin. Nicely sculpted and painted. Even his shoes, they have the nice ninja style to them, where you can see like the two toes. I like the wraps. That's very well done in my opinion. I do wish that they would have painted the inside of the hand, the wrap, but that's really not a big problem. and it's only visible on the open hands. Awesome, awesome looking figure. Let's pop the head off so we can take a closer look at his helmet. There's the body without the helmet, and I'll show you how all the things are removable. But let's take a close look at this. You can even see that it's got some scarring detail and some slashes. You can see underneath his eye it's got the detail for the teeth from the Dragon Zord helmet. I didn't even notice that until this moment. That's awesome. There's some more of that great texture that's all throughout his armor. You can see the little spikes and ridges he's got. That's great. It's even outlined in gold. Really well done stuff. I'm also happy to inform you that this neck peg is about the same size as the other Lightning Collection figures that you have, so head swapping is an option. If you wanted to see what Shredder looked like without the dragon armor, or at least the dragon shield, you can take it off. It's got a little peg right there in the back, and that's what the inside looks like. Super reflective, super shiny, really awesome, awesome looking gold. And here he is without the dragon shield. You can see what he looks like. They still paint the silver from his neck. You can see that it goes down underneath the armor. There's the wire that I added. I basically just worked it through the cape. Not sure if you can see, but there was a little hole that was already in the cape that's in between the seams there, and I just worked the wire all the way up. It was a little tedious and you might scuff up your cape a little bit, but I think the end result is definitely worth it. I'm not the best at poses, but this action figure makes it almost effortless. I feel like you can kind of put him anywhere you want, just move him whatsoever, and he just kind of catches the light really well. I don't want to forget to show off the awesome shoulder armor he's got that's underneath the cape. Let's go ahead and see what he looks like without the cape as well. And here we have Green Ranger Shredder without the cape. You can see what he looks like. It shows off those shoulder pads a lot more easily. Now we can take a better look at the rest of the sculpt. If you take off all that armor, his neck is going to be much longer than it probably should be. But in certain positions, I don't even think you notice. When you're looking at him straight on, it's very easy to tell that his neck is oversized, but that's just so that it doesn't look too shrunken whenever he does have his shield and the cape on and everything. So overall, I think this was a great design choice, and I'm really happy with the way that it turned out. Is it just me, or would this guy make a killer custom for Wolverine? If you painted all the green parts blue, and you could even probably keep all this stuff gold, you might have to alter the armor pieces a little bit. But as far as the claws go, even the helmet almost reminds me of Wolverine. The way that it flares off to the side like that. And here we have Shredder without the cape. And I think this looks awesome. I know I keep saying that, but I don't know what other word to use. Stupendous. Spectacular. Very shiny, very gold. Just to show you, there is that little peg hole in his back, and you just put that peg, line it up, and then it stays. Now his neck doesn't look so long and out of place. It looks much more proportional. Let's go ahead and move on to the articulation. So I wanted to show off the articulation without the cape, but with the shield, because the shield is the only thing that could possibly get in the way of any of its movement. The cape is going to be able to easily move out of the way of anything. So we already saw that he had a ball hinge under his head, but we can see that it spins 360. He's got a little bit of tilt. He can look down as far as he needs to, and the shield doesn't really get in the way. He can look up a little bit. The shield does get in the way a little bit whenever his helmet and the shield connect. So this shoulder armor is actually a separate piece from the butterfly joint and the actual shoulder, so it will move independently of the shoulder. So you have a butterfly joint that goes back that far and forward that far. Works really well. He can go out to 90 even with the shield and the shoulder pad. That's amazing. And when you go 360, you can even get the shield to move out of the way so he can raise his hands on both sides. I really appreciate that they thought about making the shield the correct material so that it won't get in the way of any of his articulation. Bicep swivel. A double jointed elbow that could probably even go further than that. He's got swivel wrists that have the high five hinges. He has a ball jointed diaphragm that can wiggle all the way around. He's got a ab crunch that can crunch all the way back and all the way forward. Ball jointed hips that let him do the splits, and he can kick forward out to 90. He does not have drop down hips like the Ninja Turtles. Hip swivel. Double jointed pinless knees. I also forgot to mention he has pinless elbows. And an ankle that moves down that far, up that far, and has a loose pivot. Almost forgot the boot swivel. He can definitely strike my pose. And he looks great doing it. It's amazing to me that he can have all of this armor and extra pieces on him, and none of it gets in the way of his articulation. The shoulder armor works independently of the rest of the arm. What a brilliant idea that was. And the shield is a soft enough plastic that it will move out of the way, just like the helmet, when you need it to. Up next, his accessories. His accessories include interchangeable hands. He's already got both sets on him, and these are just the other ones. He also comes with this slashing effect that you can place on the ends of his claws. You take the blades and you just try to find the little opening within the effect piece. It's pretty hard to see, but it's close there towards the end, and you just want to slide the effect piece over the blades and they'll come popping out the side. And they can fit either way on either hand. I wanted to quickly point out that the hands and heads are usually interchangeable amongst the Lightning collection. You can see here that the peg for a standard Power Ranger is about the same size as Shredder's peg. And the same goes for the ball joint at the head, which make things like this and this possible. That is a haunting nightmare. Even though the head swap doesn't look great on Shredder's bigger build, it does make a little sense as to why the head would be that size and the helmet would be this size. The helmet has got to be a little bit bigger, that way it's believable that it would fit over someone's actual head. But aesthetically, this does not do it for me at all. You can see what Shredder looks like when he's got all of his accessories back on him. And I do like how these effects can be used as either an afterwards slashing effect or as almost like a energy enhancement for his blades. If there are any poses or comparisons you wish you saw in this video but didn't, make sure to check out any of these social medias, because I post exclusive and additional content there. I also take requests for videos and photo shoots from anyone who follows me. You may even see your suggestion in the next video. And with all that being said, let's head on over to some comparisons. From Power Rangers Lightning Collection, we have Donatello and Michelangelo as Power Rangers. They both come up to about his shoulder. From Spin Master League of Legends, we have Thresh. And from DC Direct, The Adventure Continues, the Batman Who Laughs. Shredder is taller than both of these characters from the tops of their heads, unless you count Thresh's bone tendrils. Here's a couple turtles from different toy lines. On the left we have Raphael from BST AXN, and from the second CGI live-action movie we have Leonardo. I originally started collecting these turtles so that they could be the unpowered version for the Lightning Collection Ninja Turtles, but the scale didn't line up as much as I would have liked it. We can see what he looks like next to a standard Power Ranger body and the standard monster Power Ranger height with Lord Draken and King Sphinx. You can see that Shredder is a decent middle point in between the Rangers and the monster figures. Here he is with Leader Class Beast Wars Megatron and Voyager Class Dinobot. You can see that Shredder is about the same size as Dinobot, and Megatron here is a little bit crouched just for stability, but he is going to be taller than Shredder. Here's what he looks like next to the BST AXN Bebop and the Lightning Collection Foot Soldier. He clearly towers over Bebop, so that scale might not work out as good as you'd like. Standing next to a couple of 4-inch action figures, we have him next to the Brute and Steel from Final Faction. This is a Dollar Tree toy line. You can get these figures all for $1.25. There he is with the 2012 Nickelodeon team of Ninja Turtles. He just towers over absolutely all of them. Donatello's the tallest one, and he barely comes up to his elbow. Even though this is a Shredder review, let me know in the comments down below which Ninja Turtle team is your favorite. I think as far as TV shows go, the 2012 version has to be the clear winner in my opinion. And it wouldn't be a collection reflection comparison without Pumpkin Rapper's Big Pumpkinhead. I've gushed over this figure enough to let you know I think it's completely worth adding to your collection. Searching online is probably going to be your best bet since this crossover was not available in most stores. I picked up this entire crossover set at GameStop. You're welcome for the free advertisement. This figure itself was around $30 when I bought him, and normally I like to wait for sales, but this figure was absolutely worth paying full price. That brings us to the end of the video. I want to take a second to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed to my channel or that interacts with any of my posts. I'm pretty new to the action figure community. Even though I've been collecting for most of my life, I never had the courage to talk about action figures in public, let alone make videos about them and post them on the internet. I didn't realize there were so many other people who shared my interest. So the fact that I have so many pleasant interactions with fellow plastic enthusiasts, it really means a lot to me. And it makes me feel like I'm finally amongst friends. So thank you all from the bottom of my heart. I hope you have yourself a nice chuckle and be nice to someone. I'll see you next time.